Status of Eric and Nazir?
They're in.
Okay. Curious with Eric, what's when he hasn't been out there, when you notice obviously the difference with him in and out, why is he obviously so important to this group considering what he brings to the table?
Well, just his veteran experience and his ability to impact the game on both sides of the ball. He can really sit down and lock into his own man and guard in one-on-one settings. He's a heavy strip guy defensively. Has good savvy on that side of the ball, and obviously the threat that he carries, to make 6 threes in a game like he did in New York, but to at least have the gravity and space that he gives to everybody else, is valuable. And then he can put the ball on the floor too and attack like he did in the Minnesota game, where he's living in the paint, creating havoc in that type of game. So he's a versatile offensive player and a good two-way player.
Obviously, it looks like Brad's going to be out for an extended period of time. Just your thoughts on that in terms of him being out for a while and how that's going to impact the team.
Yeah, well, we all want him out there, but every team has ankle sprains on their roster. We've had all 3 of our guys have had an ankle sprain, so just something. You're disappointed for him because you know how much he wants to be out there, but we just we don't spend a lot of time frustrated with injuries. We focus on the guys that we have, and we go win games with those guys.
And obviously you're adding Maldeon as a two-way guy. I remember seeing him play at OKC. What jumps out to you as far as him as a player?
Yeah, he's a really interesting prospect. He's young. I think he's 22 years old and has a really good floor game from a point guard standpoint. He's an improved shooter. He's got good size, and he's someone that has been on our front office's radar for some time. So, we saw he was being waived. He's someone that we want to get into our system and see how he looks with us.
Coach, I'm just curious, what areas of growth have you seen from Kyle since coaching him during that title run?
Yeah, Kyle's the man, first of all. I love Kyle Kuzma. I think he's just played more solid. I think his overall motor has slowed down. He plays really hard, but I think there's some wildness to his game early in his career. That I think you see that less and less. And he's more of a poised vet now, and obviously doing a great job for the Wizards.
Coach, post-game you spoke about the team just having urgency but also patience. How do you balance the two as you look to close out at home before this weekend?
Yeah, it's a little bit of an oxymoron, right? I've been both of those, but it's necessary. You have to have the mindset that we have to get things right away. That type of urgency, accelerates our learning and our growth, right? But we have to have a big picture perspective. There's perspective in everything you do, and patience is required, when it doesn't happen right away. So you do need both.
Do you have any specific prognostication on Bradley beside a while?
A while's a good phrase, yeah.
But it's a couple of weeks.
Can't say right now. Yeah, I think we're going to have an update on him tomorrow, after practice.
Frank, another thing you mentioned on Friday was aggressive to read, I think is the phrase you use with the offense. What does that mean for you, just in general?
Yeah, just, we don't want any of our 3 stars, looking to play passively. I think the defense will dictate, how much any of those guys is facilitating. If you're looking to score and you draw 2 to the basketball, then you make the right read. If the defense is late or not helping or not doubling, okay, then you cook your man and you're in a score mode. But being aggressive, looking to score, and then just reading the defense, we'll tell you the answers.
Frank, the fourth quarter struggles, do you see them as individual to each game, whatever issue there might be, or do you see an overarching theme with it?
No, it's. I think there's a lot of individual stuff, but we just got to close better. His team's got to learn to close games, and every group that's new to each other has different areas that happen right away, and different areas that take a little bit of time. And I don't think that's going to be a problem for us with the closers that we have on this team. I don't think it's going to be a big picture problem for us, but it has been a little bit early in the season, and we're working to get better with it, and I believe it will come.
Looked at the video of the last game, what was the cause?
You got to remind me of that.
Yeah, sure. The cause and effect of, the fact that you guys had a 10-point lead and it scored something like 40 to 20 over the next period of time. When you looked at it, what were the specifics?
Well, it starts with Jalen Brunson. You know, sometimes a hot player can do that to you, can take over a game. You see it from time to time. You know, that game reminded me of, you know, the Kobe Bryant game. You know, after Kobe had passed, we had you know, there was a canceled game, and we came in the next night, you know, wanting to win, you know, because it was obviously in a very emotional time, and Dame Lillard came in and went for 60. You know what I mean? And just it was too much for us to handle, and it's one of those things when a player gets that hot, you know, you have to shut his water off, and you have to bring as many double teams as you can. And if other guys are going to make shots while you're creating those scramble situations, you know, it's going to be a tough night. So you see that from time to time in the NBA. You know, very disappointing for us. But you know, before it got to the fourth quarter, we played a terrible defensive game, and we got to get our defense right. You know, and I've challenged our guys. We had a lengthy film session yesterday, and I believe we'll be better tonight. Pretty good. You know, I mean, it's still a work in progress, but you know, I think we're picking up, you know, how we want to take the ball out of star players' hands, and you know, when we want to do it, and then how to cover the backside. You know, and you know, we're getting there, but it's not perfect yet.
Coach, on defense, is this a matter of still not executing what you want as far as the scheme, and then how much of it is just game plan? Okay, game plan.
Yeah, most of the film was one-on-one defense, guard your own guy. And then when we don't, where's the help coming from? How can we, you know, show a tighter shell? And, you know, how can we protect the rim more? Yeah, most of the film was that.
Coach, will Eric be on a minutes restriction?
No.
Is he starting?
We'll release that later.
Frank, you appreciate good defense and potential there. What are your initial impressions of Washington's rookie, Koulibaly? If you've had the chance to study.
Yeah, no, he's a heck of a prospect. You know, I like what he's doing on both sides, shooting 44% or something from the three, and you know, and he's an athletic defender, wing defender that can really go. So you know, I think they got a good one there.
Coach, did you spend any time at all with Landry?
I did a little bit in the gym here.
Okay, that's why.
Yep. We just we didn't get to have a dinner or anything like that, but had some conversations in the gym while he was shooting, and very high on him. You know, always have been. You know, he's a big time shooter and a really strong competitor. Plays with a high motor. A really good player.